Awesome. So that video was about a thing called the Care Portal, which is a way that we as a church can provide like physical needs, like just providing resources for families who have needs, whether it's a foster family or a parent trying to get their kids back. And so that's a way that we can be a part of that, which we'll share a little bit more about how you can get involved and what all that looks like. But I want to just bring attention to all these people here that have played some role in foster care or adoption, whether it's being the one taking people in, or we've also got people that represent different organizations that help find families and kind of make those pairings and matching. So let's start by just letting each of you guys share your name and what your involvement is. And so we can start down here on the end. Just say your name and what your involvement is.
My name's Carmen. My husband and I have fostered for about 2 years. Linda Briggs actually opened her home. We fostered around about 10 foster kids, 4 long-term placements, and 2 respite placements. And I do want to comment on that Care Portal. Saved us a couple times, like when we get kids and you don't have much time to get a whole bunch of things together. Our previous caseworker, Kathy, will be like, let me just put in a request to this Care Portal, and the next thing you know, she's like, hey, I have those car seats, I'll drop them off at your door. Hey, I have a toddler bed, I'll drop them off at your door. So saved us a bunch of times.
I'm Shannon Davis. I'm with Circle of Care. We are a private, faith-based foster care agency with an office and 2 sibling homes right here in Enid. I'm also a foster adoptive mom.
Linda Briggs. I'm with Oklahoma Human Services, and I'm a foster care recruiter.
My name is Malachi Heisey, and I guess since I've been alive, I've been a part of it since my siblings. 4 of my younger siblings are adopted, so I just have the sibling role, I guess.
Amen. I'm David Bingham, and I've fostered and adopted. I've fostered for about 15 years now.
I'm Aaron, and I am a foster kid, and I was adopted, but I've been in it for like 10 plus years, so.
Yeah, very good.
That's awesome. So we'll just kind of throw some questions out, and whoever wants to answer first can answer, and then you don't have to answer all the questions, but we'll just go through these. And so first question is, how and why did you get involved?
I can answer that if you want. I mean, it's not really good, but my mom and my stepdad got swatted when I was just a kid, so that's kind of how it happened. But they just took me to the shelter, and eventually I went to church and found him, so that's how it happened.
Ours isn't a good situation either. Unfortunately, it's happened in both of our families where we've had family members who have had their children removed from their homes. So my husband and I saw a young couple, no kids, have room in the house. So we talked about it, and we're like, hey, we have this room in the house to provide a safe and loving home for children in foster care. So that's why we started.
So this story's way too long to tell the whole thing, but a few years ago, my husband and I were enjoying our empty nest. We had just sent our youngest daughter off to college, and we're really enjoying getting to just, watch what we wanted on TV and not have to be running here and there. And we got an email request. I was on staff at our church, and he was on our leadership team. And we got an email request on a Monday morning that said, from a foster mom, who said, the kids in my home are going to need a new placement soon. And we called each other and said, we have 3 empty bedrooms. Should we be praying about this? And so we started praying. And you know what happens when you start praying? God has a tendency to take you out of your comfort zone. And he definitely did that with us. A few months later, we had 3 siblings, a boy and 2 girls in our home. And a couple of years later, we adopted those kids into our family. Today, they are 17, 14, and 11. And I will not say it's easy, but it is definitely the best thing that we've done.
That's awesome. Anyone else? All right.
Go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the way I got involved, I can thank my parents for their obedience, but I just wanted to, kind of thank them that through the way that they were obedient to the call of adoption and foster care, I've been able to just love my younger siblings, and without them, I would be the youngest child, and our house would be very boring, and my parents would be empty nesters. So I'm just very thankful that I've been able to be an older sibling. So yeah.
That's awesome. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, David.
So my sister got addicted to drugs, and she was quite a bit older than me. And so the first child I took in, I was only like 20 years old, and my nephew, which is here today, and he's 39 now, I ended up raising him from that point on. I say that later in the question was maybe what could the church do, but Mary over here on the left, some of you know Mary, like she was, Timmy and Brady was good friends. Well, Mary ended up being a huge help to me through those years. I couldn't have done it without Mary. And I didn't even know Mary came to church here when we came here. But it's a huge, cool story there, but I won't get into because I'm really passionate about it. But from that connection on, Timmy ended up adopting 2 kids now. And the first foster child I took was quite a bit later. Aaron was a little off on his time frame, but he was 8 when I got him. And so Aaron had been in the shelter about 100 days. And him and his brother were pretty ornery. And his brother didn't want to go into placement without Aaron. And so they came to my house together. And I took Aaron, and they're like, that was a rough idea. And then when I came to adopt Aaron, that was a bad idea. The attorney even told me, you can't back out. And so, but you know what? Aaron brought not so much joy to my family, but brought a lot of my other foster kids into my house through friendships and to my youth group, and ended up adopting Aaron and many, many others more because of Aaron. And so proud of Aaron.
Yeah, that's awesome. Next question is, how has adoption or foster care impacted you or your life?
Like Shannon said, it's been one of the hardest things we've ever had to do, but it's also one of the best things we've ever decided to do. Like, these children teach you so much about yourself, and it's been the greatest reward watching them transform in your home just by you providing them a safe and loving home, and you just watch them grow. And hardest part is watching them go home. You're happy for them because they get to go home with their family, but it's also hard letting go. You just got to trust in God.
Yeah, I definitely will say the same thing. I had worked in my career, and I've been in this career almost 30 years, working in church ministry and faith-based nonprofits. And I've worked with all kinds of kids, all kinds of families, bringing 3 children that had experienced abuse, neglect, trauma, the hardest thing that we have ever done as a family. Lots and lots of stories about why not to do it, how hard it is. Linda can tell you too, I'm sure. She's seen a lot of these same stories. Kids that come from hard places come with grief and loss and behavioral challenges and emotional challenges. They come with hoarding tendencies. They come with not wanting to take a bath. They come with stories that will literally break your heart. And yet, when you start seeing God working in them, when you see God working in your own life, in your own heart, when you see him rooting out the biases and the things that you thought you knew about life, and he was like, you didn't know it all. The things that you thought you knew about love, and he says, you didn't know it all. And when you choose every single day to love those children, and you choose to love yourself when you make the mistakes, and you choose to love their parents who made mistakes as well, that's a picture of true unfailing love that drives out fear and true redemption. It just is getting to see God work right there in your home. And that's the thing that I've gained the most out of this experience.
I mean, for me, it was awesome, but probably not for him. But so that's, it was great.
Well, the bad times, if we're talking about things that were tough, I had a sibling group of 2 boys that their mom got murdered while they were in my care and in foster care, and she was an addict, and she had started coming to church, and then she got murdered just a couple blocks from our house. And then just this year, a young man that had been in my life forever that I adopted, quite a few of his siblings, committed suicide this year. And those were the 2 toughest things that we've dealt with.
I can tell you that I've seen a lot of the good, bad, and the ugly, as David has as well. But I will tell you this, one of the hardest things for me is just having those kids in the office and their eyes saying, what's next? What am I doing here? Who are you? They don't know us workers, you know. But I can tell you there are so many good things. I'm going to tell a story. I call David my rock star. He is Enid's rock star. I've known this for about 12 years now at least. But we had kids that took off when they knew we were coming. Workers are out gallivanting around a certain town looking for these certain kids. And David's out gallivanting around with the workers, helping us look for these kids, because they'll go to him before they'll come to us, right? And so some of our kids learn that safe space, and they know, and when they get to know that, they'll do that.
Yeah, in the lobby, you were sharing a little bit, you know, you and David go back, you know, for a lot of years. Tell us, I know this isn't to bring extra attention today, but how many kids has David had in his home through the years? You told us.
I know he has adopted, did you say 7? 7 adoptions, but over the years, I know the last count that I had, we were working on some things at the office, and the last count that I had was 172.
That's amazing. David, we thank you for that.
That's an entire school system in some areas.
I have one last question about just what we can do as a church to get involved. But does anybody else have any other thoughts they want to add or share?
If Linda's going to finish that one, I'd just like to say, from my viewpoint, what happened to me would be a lot of times, well, example, Aaron came to our church and we were doing Vacation Bible School. I just took my first foster in. I had a lot of other kids before that, but Aaron, one of the deacons said, "Get that kid out of here. I don't know whose kid that is." And I was carrying him to my house, and he was punching himself in the nose and blood running down his face. And that was really I thought, I'm going to jail. But I say all that to say this. When a kid comes into our church and they're ornery and they're rowdy, and there's a parent or a family out there trying to take care of them, support them, love on that child. I had a huge circle of people, including my church family, that made a huge difference in my life. And that's the only reason that a lot of my kids are here today, because of the massive circle of people that loved on me. But as a church, love on your families and love on your kids that are here.
Yeah, I think going off of that, something I wanted to say was like the best part about adoption is bringing a child and like rescuing them and just bringing them into a healthy home that teaches the Bible, and where otherwise they wouldn't have learned it. And that's kind of the greatest gift, is to give them Jesus and to give them eternal life through Jesus. So,
And it would be a shame not to say this, I'm sorry, but it's not just your kids, it's their family. There may be 100 people in that circle, and so you love on the family. You learn quickly that your kids are going to go home most of the time, and so you learn to love that family and invite them to church. And even if they're addict, and even if they're having a really hard time, I could tell you a million stories. Maybe they didn't completely change, but so many turned their lives around and got better because of inviting them to church and pouring not just into the kid, but the whole family. And it's difficult, but it's paying forward, and it works well. That's our mission field, the entire family, not just that one kid.
Yeah, Linda,
I could let David go on and on. David could do this all day long.
Share with us what we can do to get involved for people.
Getting
want
involved
help.
right away, right now. One, I dare you, and I said it earlier, I dare you to give a recruiter your name and phone number. All right, we'll be there. Number 2, Care Portal. It is basically just very simple. It's a child welfare worker's way of not jumping over HIPAA, because we can't, but it's our way of communicating with you the needs that we have and that we see physically, whether it be from a crayon to a bed, diapers, clothes, a car seat, anything like that. Like Carmen said, if we get a church member that meets that need, and a lot of times we want to connect you with the family that needs it, if it's the bio family or the foster family, if we can and if we have their permission. But if not, the worker will be that go-between to get that item to that person. We have so many programs going on right now. There's ornaments out on the table that's to buy foster kids presents, and we're putting those together right now. You get one of those, sign up, give me your name and phone number that you took one, which one you took. Also, Tuesday is Pizza Hut Give Back Day. Pizza Hut's partnered with us, and if you get a carry-out pizza on Tuesday all day at either location, they're going to give us 20% of your ticket if you mention foster care.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say on the care portal, we just got signed up as a church, and so we want as many people in our church that want to sign up for that. And it's really simple. I'll tell you how it works. You scan that QR code, you'll fill out a simple form, put in your name and email, and then anytime there's a need, you'll get an email that says, hey, here's this family and here's the need, can you help? And you don't have to help every time because it goes to a lot of different people, but you can just respond and say, yes, I can take care of that. And so as many people as we have in our church that are on that just helps, more people to know the needs so that we can do something to help. And so I'd highly encourage you to sign up for that. And then the very last thing I'll share is if you're like, hey, I want to talk about this, like maybe God's calling you to get involved, like personally, like sign up, become a foster parent. This Thursday we're having a foster and adoption interest meeting for anybody that is maybe feeling a little bit called and just wants to ask questions, wants to know more. You'll get to hear from, you'll get to ask questions of families who are doing it, but also, these organizations, how does this work? And so if you would like to come to that meeting, it's this Thursday at 6:30 downstairs in our cafe. And just so we kind of have an idea of who's coming, I would encourage you to do this. There's a phone number to text. So text HOPE to that number, 580-707-0117. And so if you just text that number, say, hey, I'm interested, or text HOPE to it, and that'll just kind of put you down for that. And then that'll be a meeting where you can really find out more and ask more questions. But I would also encourage you to stop by after service in the lobby. They're going to all be out there able to answer questions. You can stop by the table to get an ornament if you want to provide a Christmas gift for kid in foster care. But let's as a church, let's get involved. Let's do what we can to meet the needs here in our own community. And so you guys thank them for coming up and sharing. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.